And we're live. Sorry for the delay there, guys. We're only 38 minutes late. Not that big of a deal. we're always a little bit we're always a little bit late, guys.
That's what
Welcome to
happens when you try to use
The HammerFist podcast, MMA Fight Pass. Today we got a double feature episode for you guys. It's all about the locals. Last episode we had Randy Couture. It was great, good time. And today we got Jeremy Luchow, guys. A lot of you know him. He's a local guy from the local scene. He's been around the MMA scene that I know here in the local area since the beginning. And he's helped a lot of guys, local MMA guys, make it to the big scene. And he's always been there. He's even fought himself. You know what I mean? Jeremy's been around the game for a while. We're going to talk with him. The fights are back, guys. The MMA action is back. I'm super excited. The 559 fights, the MMA local is back. And the mask, no one's going to be wearing masks or anything like that. There's going to be a crowd. It's going to be great right here in Visalia. After Jeremy, guys, we're going to talk with some local jiu-jitsu competitors that got busy this weekend and the weekend before. The jiu-jitsu tournament scene is also back. And, man, maybe not here in California, but in other places, it's wide open. And this last weekend there was action all over. And our local jiu-jitsu scene, a bunch of the teams right here from Visalia and other local areas, they were all over the place. And, man, bringing back medals. Great results for the local competitors. I'm super stoked on the jiu-jitsu scene. So welcome, Jeremy. Welcome to the show. We've had Jeremy on before. Jeremy Luchow, how are you, bro?
Doing awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, welcome, Jeremy.
And I just want to say we weren't late because of me. It's not.
Technology. We're testing new technology all the time. Cutting edge, baby.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I won't take the blame for the Wi-Fi either, even though my Wi-Fi sucks. It's the guy with the blue shirt on. What's up, Archie?
Hey, I'm doing good, Tom. Glad to be back, man. Looking forward to all the information for the Central Valley, Central California, MMA, the kids, people going to tournaments. Las Vegas this weekend was big. I think there was 2 tournaments out there, right?
Dude, there was a bunch of action. Where I train and teach jiu-jitsu at Team KO out there in Farmersville. Small little gym, but man, those guys they're always getting ready for something. Our boxing team went out to Vegas too. They went out there and we had like 8 kids compete in boxing. They all won their matches, so props to them. And the jiu-jitsu guys, we had like 5 guys go out there for the first tournament. And man, elite team here in Visalia, they were all over the place, man, and they killed it. They always do, but they just had competitors. People have been wanting to compete, man, and people are wanting to fight too in MMA. And these local guys are getting ready, even though there hasn't been anything going. Guys have been getting ready. Jeremy, what have you heard about this local MMA scene?
Yeah, I think it. I've been in constant contact since the whole pandemic started. I mean, I talked to the president of Camo probably on a weekly basis. We were always trying to be creative and think of ways we could do fights. And when we came back, how was it going to look? And it was just taking longer than I think any of us anticipated. No one thought last March when all this happened that a whole month and a whole year and a couple months later we'll still be without fights. And not just fights obviously, but everyone's lives were changed drastically through this process. So when the governor announced that we were going to be opening up in June, we knew it was going to be time. So if you guys know anything about me, I kind of wanted to be one of the first shows back. So that's we picked that June 19th date. Talked to the state about it, got approval. Been working through what COVID protocols there wouldn't be. Spoke with several different venues, trying to figure out where we were going to be. Ultimately, landing at the Valley Strong Ballpark, which is home of the Visalia Rawhide. Many of you know we've done some shows out there at the baseball park before. So we changed up a few things. We're going to make it look a little different than we have in the past. But we're really excited to be back. I know a lot of athletes are super excited to be back. I mean, obviously the fans are. Everything is selling out, not having an issue selling any tickets. So, we're just really excited to be able to bring mixed martial arts back to the Valley. And we got a show planned for every month for the rest of the year. Got all our dates picked up on Camo, so we're good to go.
Yeah, man, dude. And your show is one of the best shows, to be honest, you know what I mean? One of the best local shows. And part of that is because you know so much about it. You've been around and you work with some of the great guys like Christian Printup and Jacob Jeff, Richard Goodman, Reed Harris, a lot of these old school guys from back in the day at Tachi. And you were just always right there in the scene. And I'm sure you had to learn a lot from those guys. Those guys had a lot of knowledge. They were bringing in dudes from all over. Did you pick up a lot of stuff off those dudes?
Yeah, obviously my first interest in MMA was with Christian. And so kind of being around Christian both as a friend and as a mentor early on, definitely, kind of opened my eyes to doing things and mostly just learned a lot of different things from him. And then, one of the major things I learned from him was to be able to learn from other people, learn from other shows. A lot of people don't understand how much MMA Christian supported. He went to so many different events, and he would let me tag along with him, and he'd say, "Hey, look at this, look what they're doing. This is a good idea. Oh, look, they're doing this. This is not a good idea. So I kind of learned that robbing and stealing from other events and seeing what other people were doing. Like, you really didn't have to reinvent the wheel. You just had to polish it. You know what I mean? So, just learned a lot from those guys. Mary Moon was, people don't give Mary enough credit out at Tachi, but she was like the backbone of those events for a long time, learning how to set up events, learning all the behind the scene things that go on, the insurance, the setting up, the stuff that people don't often think about, all the little details that go on to events, just being able to learn from them and then learn from other people across the state and the nation. I've had the pleasure of not only being able to, produce shows, but work on the management side of things, and then, connect with other, important promotions across the country and learn how they do things and kind of be able to pick their brain and have discussions with them, figure out what might work in our area, what doesn't work in our area, kind of consult with different people and stuff like that. So it's been a blessing. I kind of, came into it doing one thing and now presently doing something totally different.
I can't even imagine what's all involved throwing an MMA event. I've done a couple jiu-jitsu tournaments here in Visalia, and there's a lot involved in that, just the jiu-jitsu tournament. I can't even imagine with the MMA, man, just getting the fighters dropping out, coaches being, people flaking and injuries happening and you having to get replacements. People don't even ever think about, like you just said, the insurance. Who thinks about that?
Yeah. And I think like your comment right now, like you got to understand too, like a promoter like myself, I'll go to a jiu-jitsu tournament because there's things I can learn at a jiu-jitsu tournament on how they're running their event, things that they're doing that might be able to help me as a promoter in MMA. My son coming up, we've done stuff, we've talked about him before, but him wrestling. So me being at all these high-level wrestling tournaments across the country, there's so many things that I've taken from wrestling events and jiu-jitsu tournaments, kickboxing events, boxing events, concerts, and implemented them into being a promoter, just learning lessons along the way. So just being I think if you're a person that wants to keep their eyes open and learn, and be willing to learn and not just think, hey, my way is the best way and not be so stubborn about things, your events will grow and you'll adapt as a promoter and you'll get better. I still have a long way to go.
You're always learning. Yeah. I imagine if you're one of those guys and you think you know it all already, so it's not going to go right. Sooner or later, it's not going to go right. Just like an MMA fighter or a mixed martial artist, you got to have that open mind. You can never know it all, and there's always somebody that you can learn from. Now you're the promoter. Are you the main guy behind 559 Fights? I never know how to present you. Like I know because you do all these different things. Are you the head guy? Are you the one that came up with the 559 Fight?
Well, initially the idea and the premise behind 559 Fights, it was myself, Joey Perez, and John Motz, and we came together. Three of us came together, and this is when I was still at Tachi, and we were like, hey man, like, we should create something to where we could start developing amateur talent to bring them to Tachi Palace at the time, because we were kind of running out of some local talent, and it was kind of getting to a point where, we were having to bring people in at Tachi from all over the state, and it wasn't a lot of local showings. So, and at that time, Tachi was super high level. It was like, probably the number 3 promotion in the country. They were sending 4 or 5 guys per event to the UFC. So, we really needed to start developing talent in the area. And then we were going to do that. And if you remember our first couple shows, we did them. We packaged them with UFC pay-per-view. So the fights would actually go on earlier in the day, and then you'd stay and watch UFC pay-per-view until the UFC told us that we couldn't do that anymore. Since that time, John stepped away, and he started doing real estate and doing some other stuff. So he kind of got out of MMA. And then Joey, got ill 2 years ago, and he had to kind of step away. So I'm kind of left to it by myself and carrying the burden on. So, but I'm definitely not a one-man show by any means. Antoine Hood has been integral the last 2 or 3 years and helping me develop talent and helping me book fights, helping me stay sane. You know what I mean? Through a lot of stuff. And then we started doing the jiu-jitsu in 2019. That's when Mike Moreno came aboard, and he's one of those longtime vets in the area who not only helps give us advice with jiu-jitsu and pairs the jiu-jitsu guys and helping us run that tournament, but also on the MMA side, he always gives good ideas. And then Rick Falcon, he does a lot for us as well. Archie's helped out some. We've had several people throughout the years come in and help, whether it be through sponsorships or selling advertising for us or whatnot. I think one of the things that separates us apart is obviously some production stuff. Crunchy does a really good job with our videos and highlights and promoting things. You know what I mean? I've had the same graphic designer working on our posters since from fight 1 all the way to fight 79 now. A guy I went to high school with, and he lives in Thailand. So, we've had a pretty good team, through the years that have helped us kind of develop and stick together and put on some great events.
Antoine Hood, I love that guy, dude. He's so down for the sport, man. He's just a friendly guy, good guy, and knowledgeable, and he's down to help out in all areas. Mike Moreno, a straight OG right there, man. That guy
all those people that Jeremy mentioned that are like the Valley people that you want on your team to be able to make yourself stronger and your product, right?
Yeah, Rick Falcon too, man. And Mike Moreno is just somebody that I watched fight back in the day, and I would always be like, man, to be honest, man, I would be like, man, I hope a promoter doesn't call and offer me that guy right there. He was brutal, man. He was really something else.
He was beautiful. The way his elbows and the way he made people just bleed when he got on top, man. Oh my God, he was bad. Yeah. Mike Moreno.
I remember when I first even got introduced to MMA, my first event that I went to was a WEC, and I sat cage side as a sports reporter, and Mike Moreno was fighting, and he was kicking someone in the leg.
Yes.
I remember afterwards. Talking to Christian and being like, "Yeah, so like you're gonna match me up with someone that's gonna kick my leg like that? I'm not exactly sure that I really want to do this anymore because it looked like the most painful thing I've ever seen in the world. The guy's leg was black and blue. He couldn't barely walk afterwards. It was insane. So I've known Mike forever, and I think when I first started doing 559 fights, I was real stubborn and wanted to do things all my way. And as I grew as an adult and as a person, I started to have to kind of learn that I needed other people around me that were as passionate about the sport as I was. And at that time, Antoine was like, of all the coaches and all the gyms, you know what I mean, that I dealt with, he was a guy who was like always wanted to do what was best for his fighter. If that meant sending his fighter to another gym, he would send him to another gym. If that meant, hey, I've taken this guy as far as I can. Jeremy, can you talk to this guy about managing and get him with the right management group? Then we did that. You know what I mean? He was just somebody who really cared about athletes, and man, to see his growth in the sport and how respected he is now. It's just awesome, man, and I'm glad that he's part of my team. Him and Mike are really awesome, and Rick is just someone who came into the Valley and was working at Dethrone, and would constantly hit me up and ask me a lot of questions about growing his business and things that he wanted to do and he wanted to be a part of. And I just thought, man, this guy's so passionate, you know what I mean, about wanting to help people and about wanting to grow the sport that I just need to make sure that he's part of the group, you know what I mean? And so we were able to get him in place too. So, I mean, when the team's still growing, there's still some opportunities for people to come aboard and help, and I'm just glad I've grown and matured as a person to where I'm allowing people to come in and be that voice in my ear to let me know that maybe sometimes I'm not making the right decision and we need to make some adjustments here or there.
Hell of a team to have. I got another guy, man, for you. Hey, a new up-and-coming ring announcer, bro.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, no, on the real though, man. I've done it a couple times now, and hey, maybe at least just one fight, bro.
Yeah.
If I can do a ring announce here in Visalia, I think I'm not half bad, right, Archie?
Hell no, Tom. I mean, yeah, that could be a nice little debut. You know, just a step. It's a step up, Tom. It's a step way big up. You know, it's a big step.
Hey, if it's not good, then the next guy will come on. But I got the good little suit. I got a couple things going for it. But on the real though, man, this show, it's a local show. I know you got a lot of local guys that come into it, but with this whole last year has been crazy. And I know a lot of people out there, a lot of fighters that
you know what? Tom, you alone will probably bring in 15, 20 fans just to see you, man. You know,
I got more than that, dude. I got a whole
that's what I'm saying.
and all Costco, man. They already getting their tickets, and there's a bunch of people. I love this show, man. I'm a big part of this sport since way back in the day, going to those Tachi fights, and I've always been involved in some way, and I always will be involved, man. Even if I can't fight or compete, like even this podcast and commentating or doing whatever we do, or Archie interviewing people just like this, I'll always be a part of it. It's a big part of my life. Jeremy, talk about the locals that are going to be fighting on this show, and maybe some guys that you're bringing in from other places.
Yeah. First show back, what I did was I went back to the initial show that got canceled back in March, and I kind of gave all those guys like, hey, if they want to be on the card, kind of first right of refusal, you know what I mean? Once we got some of those local names in and beyond, then we kind of started, working through some fights and developing some fights. I mean, obviously things are going to look a lot different than they did, in early 2020 and in 2019. So, there's some different stuff going on. But I'm really excited about our main event. Everyone likes the girls. Gabby Lopez is somebody who's been on a bunch of our fights. I think she's only fought away from us one time. She brings a big crowd from the Central Coast. She's going to be fighting Valerie Thurs for the 115 title. Girl matchups are really super exciting. At 145 pounds. I'm really blessed that we've done a lot with Mark Hernandez and Mark Dela Cruz right there in the there. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that we have a Visalian headlining a card in Visalia, or being a part of a card in Visalia, and fighting for a title. And he's gonna be fighting Sal Bruno out of Bakersfield. Sal's another guy that's fought all of his fights with us, you know what I mean, and been super loyal. So, I like to give those guys, these types of opportunities, and then in the heavyweight fight that we have, Tristan. Tristan is a guy that he was fighting. He was our 230 champ, you know what I mean, and he wanted to move up to heavyweight, which was good because Larry Gonzalez has opted to turn pro, you know what I mean? So we had Kyle, who was supposed to fight Larry in March, and he stepped up on short notice, you know what I mean? So I wanted to still give him that opportunity for stepping up on short notice. I felt like he kind of deserved it, you know what I mean? So Kyle and Tristan will fight for the heavyweight title,
Three title fights?
Yeah, 3 title fights, you know what I mean?
Yeah, three title fights.
Plus, I don't know if you guys remember back in March, we were supposed to do our first ever tournament, jiu-jitsu tournament, you know what I mean? The winner gets a belt and stuff like that. So that tournament is back in. That tournament field is pretty awesome, man. It's got a lot of I'm going to pull it up because I can't remember when.
Yeah, I want to see who we got going on there.
But it's a lot of guys who've done a mix of things in jiu-jitsu and MMA. But some names that you guys will probably remember. If my computer will pull up the card, but I know like Mark Della.
Omar Renault's on the card there. Also, he's a really good fighter. He's fighting at, what is he? Heavyweight, light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight 205. Yeah.
I want to give some props to Mark De La Cruz, man, and Mark Hernandez. Hey, even though with all this stuff going on, I know Mark personally, and hey, I've been watching. They've been staying busy. He's not a guy that gets on there and talks a lot about this and that. My team, my guys. He's just always is busy though, and they've been training steadily. And Mark's another guy that's been around this Visalia scene, starting with jiu-jitsu since the very beginning, man. When it was in a garage, and then Djibouti, and then it grew on. And then, Mark went on to fight. And Mark's a good teacher, man. He's a good athlete. He's got a lot of knowledge. And that Mark Hernandez is a tough kid right there.
Yeah. So the middleweight tournament, grappling tournament, is going to feature Nick Bustamante, Christian Avalos, Art Hernandez, Alex Rojas, Matthew Reed, Sergio Quinones, Julian Tovar, and Mark De La Cruz. So that's the field for the grappling.
Is that your son, Archie, right?
Yeah, that's good old Julian. Yeah.
Which now I just got him. He's now working with me. I just got him a job at Costco.
There you go.
Now Julian, man, is hella good. I can't wait to see him in action again. Sal Bruno's another guy too, another local dude that's he's good. That's going to be a good fight, man.
Yeah. And you see a lot of new debut guys, some new faces, obviously. So Jaime Lamas is back. He's fighting Marlon Watkins. They've fought a bunch. I'm really excited for the debut of like Elijah Azuna. Tim Gutierrez is a good kid out of Modesto. Las Maldonado, a kid out of Fresno that was pretty exciting. Everyone was pretty pumped up to see before.
Yeah, he's good.
So there's a lot.
Also, you got Marion Renault's brother Omar on there.
Yep, Omar is on there.
Is this a sorry to cut you off?
Yeah.
Is this a tournament in one night? Are they going to have more than one match if they win their match?
No, the fights are just regular fights, but the grappling.
The jiu-jitsu one.
Yeah, the jiu-jitsu is a tournament.
So there'll be a bracket of how many guys in it?
It's an 8-man bracket. We're in the quarterfinals to start the show. You know what I mean? Early in the night, and then we'll space out the semifinals and then the finals.
That's cool as hell, right there, man. I like that.
Yeah, and it's cash prizes. So cash prizes for submitting your opponent, and then the winner will get a belt.
Sweet. Nobody's really done it like that. That last show that we did, Archie, the Underground Fight Series, was in the cage. It came out. It was kind of a last-minute thing where we did it in the cage, but that format was awesome. I loved how it came out. But I like the bracket deal, man.
Oh, yeah, tournament bracket was awesome. Oh, yeah.
The bracket's awesome because the guy, you know what I mean, he's going to go on and have what? Would it be 3 fights?
3 fights in one night, yeah.
3 fights in one night. And that takes experience and cardio right there, boy. Conditioning.
Yeah.
Interesting. So how many matches, including jiu-jitsu and MMA, will there be that night for the folks to see?
I think it's going to be close to 20.
20, man.
I mean, we have 17 MMA fights booked right now, and then it's going to be seven jiu-jitsu fights. So I imagine knowing MMA, some fights are going to fall off. You know what I mean? Come the week of the fight. So I'm guessing around 20.
That's really something else. And the jiu-jitsu, the good thing about it is, it's getting more popular, but a lot of people, they are still learning about it and they don't understand it. So it'll give a chance to some people to see the jiu-jitsu, get a little more understanding about it. Some people won't even know, they won't know what's going on. But most people now, especially here in the Valley, there's a lot of jiu-jitsu now. Jiu-jitsu gyms are all over the place. I think after they see this, you're going to get people hitting you up for the next show. Now, you have 4 shows lined up. They're all at the Rawhide Stadium. And what are the other dates? How far are they apart from each other?
July 17th is the one after this. And then it's mid-August and then mid-September. I don't know. I can't, off the top of my head, it's a little bit too much to remember. But they're all in the middle of a month, like 1 month apart from each other.
Dude, that's so cool, man. What do you think, Archie? Are we going to be in the mix or what?
Yeah, definitely. We need to be there cage side. And Jeremy, we need to talk some more and see if we can get out there, man. We have talked a little bit, but See if we can set some stuff up. No, it's exciting. You know, I really like the format for the jiu-jitsu tournament because, you know, people will see the winner and they'll see like the winners keep climbing and they're like, okay, there's that guy again. Oh, there's that guy again. Oh, there's that guy again. You know, so it's kind of cool for the fans to, and I'm sure after the second or third time they'll catch on like, all right, this guy, you know, he just beat two people and he must be about to be, you know, going again for the final. So that's an awesome format for sure.
Oh yeah, the bracket is something else. If you've ever competed in a jiu-jitsu tournament, I know you have, Archie, and Jeremy, you might have too. It's really something else. You get to see the other guy compete and what he does, and then you're going to fight him next, and you can get a little bit of an idea of what the guy's going to do, especially on that night. Everybody's going to be watching. There'll be, you know, two guys going at it in the cage. You're going to see a little something out of the guy. So your second fight, you know, it's going to be interesting, really, really interesting. Are there any jiu-jitsu standouts, locals that you're looking at, Jeremy?
Kind of leave that matchmaking up to Mike. You know what I mean? I know that a lot of the schools are kind of loyal to certain tournaments and stuff like that. And I'm 100% okay with that. You know, the main thing that I want to do here is kind of what you spoke about earlier. You know, when we decided to do this in 2019, it's to get eyeballs on the jiu-jitsu guys. The MMA fans could start to see some jiu-jitsu and learn jiu-jitsu, and then the jiu-jitsu guys can start to see some MMA and learn about MMA. So just to kind of cross promote the two sports, I think it's awesome. And you know, we're gonna go with you know, whoever is available, you know what I mean, to compete. You know, I'm not looking necessarily to come in and grab the best guys in the area. You know what I mean? I think like a lot of the best guys in the area, they're well beyond doing something like this. You know what I mean? They're wanting to go to these larger tournaments and compete for good prize money and things like that. I think this is just more of a thing to kind of cross promote the two different styles of competition. You know what I mean? And if by any means, if those guys, you know what I mean? So we have some pretty decent names in this tournament, you know what I mean? If they come along and they want to compete because they want to, then great, we'll have them, you know what I mean? But you know, I know there's some high level jiu-jitsu guys in the area that are kind of well beyond doing something like this, if that makes sense. And it's awesome to be able to follow those guys, you know. You know, it's nothing but great things. You know, a guy like Mason Fowler right now, right? You know, big name in jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Fought for 5 fights. You know what I mean? So would it be awesome to have him do something like this for us?
Oh man, yes.
But he's kind of well beyond. You know what I mean? Well beyond doing something of this level. You know?
No, I'm sure if you give him $5,000 for the match, he'll do it.
Yeah.
Hey, if I was one of those guys, and I'm a local guy, I would just want to do it, man, because hey, when you're older and later on, you might open a school. It's good, man. You're doing it for the locals. The locals get to see it. Hey, it's and a lot of those guys, it's not about the money, the whole thing. Yeah, money's cool.
It's open and available to anybody that wants to compete. You know what I mean?
How do they get in there, Jeremy? Who do they contact if they do want to get in?
Mike Moreno's handling all that.
Moreno.
Yeah, he contacts everybody. He's at all the tournaments, you know, and he's the guy that's putting stuff together. And we're all about adapting, you know what I mean? Some coaches don't like certain rules. Have a talk with Mike about them, you know what I mean? And we'll be constantly adapting to try to put a good product out there and do something that people like. I know that we have some talks, you know, later this year or first part of next year. We want to do like some dojo versus dojo type stuff, you know what I mean? You know,
that'd be sick.
One gym has 5 guys and the next gym have 5 guys, and we'll let them compete and give out a little award at the end of the night for the gym that wins the most matches or things of that nature, you know. So
nice.
I'm just definitely excited to continue to grow Valley MMA, you know what I mean? Like that's really, you know, it would have been the easiest thing to do for a lot of us through this pandemic would have been to just shut things down, sell off the cage, and not worry about anything anymore, and not have to worry about fights. But I do it for the community, you know what I mean? I love the Valley, and although I don't live there currently, you know what I mean, I just want to continue to give back to people that gave to me, and also to continue to pay it forward to the people that taught me and stuff like that. So as long as I'm healthy and I'm able, I'm going to continue to do fights and continue to help people and help them grow themselves in different aspects, right? Whether it's Antoine Hood with matchmaking fights, whether it's athletes competing, whether it's a coach that's trying to make a name for himself by producing athletes and or a gym, or whatever it is, we're going to try to be there to help you guys.
Or if it's a guy that wants to be a new ring announcer, man, in the future, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey guys, Jeremy's doesn't even live here anymore. He doesn't have to do this. He's moved on. He's out there. I'm not going to say where he lives unless you want to say that, but he's moved on, and he's working with big organizations and doing big things. And it's awesome that you still do it for the Valley, bro. It's really, really cool, man. And like you said, and Antoine and Mike Moreno, those guys can they'll stick around and keep doing what they're doing. And maybe they do their own thing later on because of the help that they got from you. Now, real quick, George Avila, how you doing, bud? We're gonna have your son on here real quick. We got guys tuning in, man. John Motzenbacher, how you doing, brother? I probably just murdered your last name, but
that's the OG with Jeremy. That's Jeremy's partner, OG partner.
What's up, Pasty? Am I saying that right, or is it Pasty?
Pasty.
Pasty.
Yeah,
that's a new one for me. I don't know. What's up, Pasty?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Thank you, John, for tuning in. Also, another thing, Jeremy, I'm having guys like hit me up to be sponsors and things like this. What's involved if a guy, say one of these local restaurants wants to be a sponsor for your show?
Yeah. So I run my company a little differently than some other people. You know what I mean? Some other people have a menu where they hand out to people that says exactly, XYZ, what they get and stuff. I like to meet with people, you know what I mean, that want to do business with us. And then I like to kind of form packages around their needs and things that they want for the event, you know what I mean? So there's no specific package or price point, you know what I mean? We try to work with everybody and do things to help each company, I want to work with businesses around the Valley, help them grow and have them help us grow, kind of develop long-term relationships instead of just short-term cash grabs, if that makes sense. So I'm always available, you guys all have my contact information. I'm pretty easy to find on social media and beyond. So anyone can get in contact with me, and I can put them on something and get something going for them.
There it is right there, guys. So it might be I don't know if it's too late for this show, but you got the 3 more shows coming after to get in on some sponsorship.
Never too late.
Never too late.
Never
That's
too late.
right.
Yeah.
I like it. That's a great answer.
Yeah, after the 4 shows at the ballpark, you know what I mean? We're going to go back to Visalia Convention Center in October, working on a November date with them, and December's already locked in as well. So the November date, we're trying to confirm still. If we can't get back in there in November, I think maybe we go back out to Orange Cove. Everyone was really excited about that venue. Everyone really liked it. So, we'll talk to the people in Orange Cove and see if they might be interested in having us back in November. We're going to do a show a month. And then later this year and into early next year, we're going to have some really exciting things going on. There's going to be some pro shows coming this way that we're going to do some collaborations with, where a lot of these amateur athletes are going to start getting some opportunities to fight professionally. Some shows that I'm going to be bringing into the Valley, and it's going to be exciting. Got some commitments from some people, got some venues kind of locked in, kind of just putting the pieces slowly and surely together. You know what I mean? Where it looks like we're probably going to do some 559 Fights pro shows, but also have some other companies come back out here and do some shows. And all those guys that have been fighting for 559 Fights have been loyal to the brand and sticking with us. You're going to see those guys start to be able to move on professionally and have some avenues to fight in. You know what I mean? And the guys in the gyms that have kind of haven't done that and have decided to go their own way, then those gyms won't have those opportunities. You know what I mean? But we're going to work with the people that have been working with us. No one's going to just slide in and be like, hey, you know what I mean? We're here now and want to help out. Nah, we're going to just stick with the guys that have stuck with us and have bled with us and worked with us. So a lot of exciting things coming up professionally in this next year as well. You know, it's going to be really, really cool. I'm super excited for Antoine and Mike to be able to have the opportunity to work on some professional stuff as we kind of take that next step. You know what I mean? Don't be surprised if there's, you know, if there's 10 amateur MMA events and 8 different pro events coming this way in the next in 2022. You know what I mean? Still working on the details, but should be some exciting stuff coming our way.
I can see it. I can see it happening, man. Archie, we're stoked for it. Hey, you guys out there. Go ahead, Archie. Didn't mean to cut you off, big dog.
No, hey, I would just say we need all that excitement in the Valley, you know, because obviously with all this downtime and there's just so many good athletes out there, and people are hungry right now. You know, people have been kind of put away, I guess, for a little while, and now that the gyms are opening and a lot of people are coming out and starting to work out, and I think this is a great time for all this.
And man, if you're a fighter out there or a kid that wants to be an up and coming fighter, there's not everybody has stuck to the training because of this last year, but I stay in contact with all the gyms around here. There are a good handful that have been doing their thing in training, and dedication, man, is staying true to the sport and true to the guys that are giving you experience. And man, a lot of you guys, I have a lot of guys ask me, you know, this amateur, it's not paying. How do I get to the pro? Listen, if you haven't fought yet, it might be a good idea to take a couple amateur fights. You know, right? Jeremy, what do you think about that?
I mean, it's always a question, right? Like yes. You know, it gets brought up a lot, especially, you know, the fighters that have the coaches that didn't have amateurs back in the day, you know, and they fought straight pro right out the gate. You know, the best thing I could tell people is, man, the amateur scene is just an avenue. It's just an avenue for you to learn, to hone your craft, and to get better, so that when you turn professional, you don't take those L's that you might have taken early on in your career, because you mess your stock up. You know what I mean? And you become a fighter that's only used in certain situations. You know, whereas if you go the amateur route, and you know, I tell guys this all the time, man. One of the good things I tell people is, hey, man, you know, they call me and they say, oh, I'm not feeling too well. You know, I want to pull out of the fight on the week of. And I'm like, are you dying? You know what I mean? Are you seriously hurt, seriously injured? Because I don't want you to compete. But if you have a cold, you might want to think about fighting through the cold, you know? Well, you know what I mean? I don't want to go out there and not be 100%. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do when you're a professional and there's $10,000 on the line and you have a cold and you've never fought, you've never done it before, you don't know what's going to make you feel better, you don't know how you're going to get through that situation. You might as well have lived it once or twice, you know what I mean? None of these pro fighters go into their fights 100%, you know what I mean? They always got a boo-boo, they always got a little bit of sick, you know, they're cutting weight, they got cold, whatever the case may be, you know. If you're not learning how to deal with those things, and you're not growing, you know what I mean? So I would hate for your first experience to be competing with a cold to be when $10,000 is on the line, you know? It'd be good if you would have learned about that as an amateur and what you could do and what to make you feel better, or what not to do, you know what I mean? To get through something, you know? It's the same thing with aches and pains through training camp, you know? You know, you have guys all the time pulling out not because they're injured, but because, you know, they're a little banged up, a little bruised up. Everyone is so scared to fight, not fight 100% because it's ego driven, right? You know what I mean? I don't want to lose in front of my friends and family. I get it, you know what I mean? But what is your why? Why are you doing this? Are you doing this because, you know, you want to be an amateur champion and just be a local legend, or are you doing this because you want to make this a career and move on and get better and stuff like that? So you got to kind of figure out what your why is, you know what I mean? And everyone's why is going to be different, and I'm 100% okay with that, you know? But, you know, amateurs should be used as a platform to get better, and nobody knows what that time frame looks like. Some guys maybe take 10 fights. Some guys can fight twice and be ready, you know? It's all about what you're going to use it for. You know, you get a lot of coaches, my guy's not a wrestler, we don't want to fight wrestlers. Oh, well, eventually you're going to fight wrestlers, so why wouldn't you do it at the amateur level?
You never know what you're getting, man, in there.
You're going to wait till you're professional and you can't say no, you know what I mean? Because money's on the line, you know, and it's going to be your first taste of fighting a wrestler. No, you should fight the wrestler now, so you can start getting some cage time experience against that level of athlete. You know what I mean? But to each their own. You know what I mean? Not everyone's going to follow the directions and path, but I often bring this person up. If you look at Alex Perez, you know what I mean? He did everything that he was told. You know what I mean? From 18 years old all the way through his career, and he was able to fight for a world title. You know what I mean? It's not reinventing the wheel. You put a plan in place for these guys. If they follow the directions, Alex fought up and down the state. Fought wrestlers, fought jiu-jitsu black belts, fought kickboxers, fought boxers. Did everything he could do to fix his toolbox and get better. He lost, he won. You know what I mean? And eventually he got to that level.
Alex is he's an amazing example right there. He fought everybody. He fought the real good guy that knew all the stuff, the mixed martial art, the wrestling, the Muay Thai, the boxing, everything. I think a big thing, man, one of the biggest wins that even the toughest guys, believe me, you don't think it's going through their head. You know what I mean? The worry of losing in front of your family or your friends or whatever. One of the biggest victories and the biggest things to conquer is getting to do that. That's one of the biggest things right there. The money is great, but believe me, the feeling after the fight is even greater than that money. You know what I mean? In the beginning.
Look, the truth is, when Warriors Cage was going on up in Porterville, you know what I mean? I had guys that were fighting for 5 for 9 fights, making more money in ticket commission than guys were getting paid at Warriors Cage. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. You know what I mean? You're going to get out of amateur MMA what you put into it. If you want to put some effort in to sell tickets so that you can make some cash, it's endless. You know what I mean? I'll send you 1,000 tickets to sell. You know what I mean? You can make $5,000 if you want to. You know what I mean? So
I know guys that have made a good amount off those tickets too, man.
Yeah. So it's totally up to you what you want to put into it. If you want to look at just a narrow-sided through a narrow lens and say, hey, you're not getting paid to fight. You know what I mean? Okay, well, what are you gaining? You're gaining valuable experience in the cage. You know what I mean? You're learning a lot about yourself. You're learning a lot about your coach, how cohesive you guys are as a unit whenever you guys are in the cage. You know what I mean? You can make some money if you choose to sell. You start to market yourself so you have a name once you get into the pros so that you can demand a little bit more money than someone that has no name and no following or no ability to sell tickets. So, I mean, you can always point all the negative things out about amateur MMA or whatever it is, but if you want to look at the positives and you want to learn and grow from it, Alex Perez fought behind a pizza place in the parking lot. You know what I mean? His first amateur fight. You know what I'm saying? And stayed the course and grew and went on and did great things. You know what I mean? So everyone's path is different, and you could choose to do things certain ways. But I think that the Camo organization has put out, I think it's like upwards of 40 or so guys that have gone on to the UFC. You know what I mean? So it's obvious that the system works. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of TJ Dillashaw fought amateur through Camo. You know what I mean? Was a world champion. Alex Perez fought Camo and he fought for a title. So there's guys out there and gals out there that have competed and gone on and done great things. So it's all about what you're going to put into it and the reason why you're doing it and what you want to get out of it.
And it's an experience of a lifetime, guys, doing it whether you win or lose. So there it is, guys. Well, I'm not going to keep you too long, Jeremy. Thank you for your time, brother. We're gonna let you go, guys. Everybody that's tuning in, man, we appreciate it. Danny from Team KO, all you guys. We're gonna be talking now after we let Jeremy go to some of the local jiu-jitsu guys that competed these last couple weekends and did really well.
Yeah, I wanted to also say, Jeremy, thanks for coming on and just expressing all those thoughts you just expressed, man. Those, everybody that's listening, replay this thing and listen to Jeremy exactly what he just said.
Important information right there, man.
Oh my God, everything about attitude, everything about cohesiveness with your coaches, everything about doing it now and don't wait to try to be cohesive in the pro. And everything he just said. But I'm actually going to re-listen to this podcast because that's good information, man. That's valuable
for our business, bud.
Yeah. Thanks,
I'm always available. Anyone can reach out to me at any time. I'm down to help anyone in the Valley achieve their dreams and their goals. You know what I mean? It's not all about about me or saying or money or whatever it is. I just want guys to be able to achieve their dreams and achieve things that they want to do. So, I'm available to anybody. I've never turned down a text message or a phone call or a chat, or anytime anyone's asked me to be on a podcast, I'm always there. I'm really excited for all the people, and I'm just hungry to get back in there and get things going again. And I want all the gyms in the valley competing for us again, and I want everyone to be able to share the same vision and the same goals. And let's create the next wave of Alex Perez and Joe Soto's and Marion Renault's and all those the greats that have come out of this area and competed, because there's a wealth of talent here and a wealth of knowledge, and there's some awesome coaches and great gyms here. So I think great stuff that can happen here.
Yes, sir. The Valley's, man, Valley strong. It's really, really great. Also, man, I want to thank you, Jeremy. Before we went live, me and you talked for a little bit, and man, some good information, man. You're a cool dude, man. You've got a lot of knowledge. You've always said yes to us when I ask you for a podcast. You don't wait. You get right back to us. So yeah. Thanks a lot. I hope your life over there is good and everything goes good for you, man. And we'll talk to you soon. And remember, the ring announcement, bro.
Thank you.
Get it done for you.
I get a chance, I'll be stoked. Anyhow, anything else you got to say before we let you go, big dog?
No, I mean, just check out the website if anyone's looking for tickets. You know what I mean? My information is on the website. Sponsorship wise, anyone that you can hit up Archie. Archie, has helped out the fights a lot. So if you have some questions, he knows all about my business. You know what I mean? Someone that's helped. So I mean, you guys are awesome, and keep doing what you're doing. And thanks for having this platform for all athletes, jiu-jitsu, MMA, and beyond to come on and talk to people. I mean, it's great that kids learn how to speak at this age. You know what I mean? And so when the time comes, when the bright lights are on them, you know what I mean, they're not stumbling over their words and things like that. So everybody, we all hold a purpose. You know what I mean? So continue to grow the sport and be awesome. I appreciate you guys so much.
Hey, thanks,
MMA Fight Pass will always be a part of your deal, brother. All right, man. You have a good time over there. We'll talk to you soon, bro. We'll see you. We'll talk to you real soon, my brother. Have a good night, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, stay tuned in. Man, I'm so stoked, Archie, for the fights to be back in the Valley, dude.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. All the action that's going to come back to the Valley, is exactly what we need. That's what the doctor ordered,
Yeah.
And then you can see all the excitement. Yeah, people wanting to do this,
Especially after this last year of bullshit, man. Excuse my French, but this last year's been, it's been hard for a lot of people. But we saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's here finally. And it's here. The fights are back after this first fight,
though, right? I mean, this weekend kind of proved a lot. I mean, you saw all kinds of posts everywhere. You just saw people talking about, Vegas was this weekend.
I had a chance to coach the Farmersville boys out there, the Team KO, about a month before they're going to compete at the Naga tournament. They go every year, and these guys had never the few guys that got a hold of me had never done a jiu-jitsu tournament or anything, you know what I mean? And we were actually training in my driveway because of my driving situation right now. They were coming from Farmersville, and I had some mats out in my driveway for the beginning to see if they were serious about it. And they would come every time I tell them, and they're just, their first tournament. I was trying to show them stuff that I thought could be useful for them. It's the Gilas tournament in Naga. And when they kept coming, I saw they were serious, so I started going out to Farmersville again like I used to. And, man, they got a tough little team out there. Danny Valadinos and those Farmersville kids, they're at every practice, man. They're trained twice a day. They're out there. They're very humble, and they would listen to what I would show them, and they would do it. And, man, they all had a great experience out there in Vegas this weekend. And we're going to talk to some of them right now. But first, guys, we're going to go live with another kid that competes all the time and trains probably every day. And his name is Owen Sabro. I hope I said his last name right. He's trained from Elite Team Visalia Jiu-Jitsu, one of the best jiu-jitsu schools. I'm not going to say Cali or United States. They got to be one of the best in the world. Honestly, man, they're from the Valley. And, dude, they have some of the best jiu-jitsu competitors out there, and they're always competing. And they're hungry, man. And this past weekend, I was talking to the head coach and the owner of the school, Tom Knox, earlier today, and he told me how many of them went out there and how many wins they had and losses. It's amazing, man. How many of their students, they weren't just at one tournament, they were all over the place, right,
Yeah.
Archie? They're everywhere, man, and they're bringing back.
There's quite a
gold
few
medals.
tournaments this weekend everywhere.
Yeah, they're all over the place. But anyhow, we'll talk a little more about that. But right now, I've been keeping them waiting. Sorry, Owen. We're friends with Cliff Sabro. Archie, you train there at Elite.
Oh, yeah.
Team. I'm sure you've probably rolled with Owen. I know I've rolled with his dad. And man, he's awesome. You know what I mean? He's a very skillful guy, very humble, great teacher. And Owen, his son, is, I don't know how long he's been doing it, but I know he's been doing it since he was a youngster. Right, Archie?
Oh, yeah. I know these probably at least 4 or 5 years old. Yeah, these guys are starting young nowadays. You know what I mean?
And man, he's grown into this jiu-jitsu, and he just looked, when I watch him compete and I watch his videos, he just looks so patient and comfortable out there, man. And his skill is just, it's a really good technique. And man, he gets the finishes and beautiful finishes too. I'm not sure how old he is right now. We're going to bring him on though. Did you get the connection for him already, Arch?
No, I need an email for him, Tom. Sorry. Did I get an email?
I'm pretty sure I sent it to you, my brother. Guys, we're still new at this, man. This is episode 125. We're still learning every show. You know what I mean? We're gonna have issues. Let me give me just a second here. You guys that are watching, man, thank you. We appreciate it. Okay. His email. Thanks to Cliff. I was gonna get Cliff on, man, his dad, because he is such a supporter of jiu-jitsu, and he's into the sport, and he's a coach over there, a competitor, and a great dad. I got his permission first, you know what I mean, before I just hit his son up.
Did you send it to him?
Hold on a second here. I got it right here. Okay. Owen, if you're listening, I know you're listening right now. Send me your email, bro, if you didn't already. He sent me all kinds of stuff here. You know what, dude?
Yeah.
He's right here waiting. He's been patient, man. I'm talking to him. We'll get it right now. We'll get it going. He's going to send it to me right now. Guys, I also, man, after the last show was, if you haven't watched it yet, we had Randy Couture on. And, man, dude, there it is right there. You get it, Archie? I'm forwarding it to you right now.
Got it.
Okay. Hey, guys, man, I got so much response from the Randy Couture podcast. It was so cool, man, talking with that OG right there. But thank you all that came up to me. Even have people coming up to me nowadays that I don't even know, and they'll say, "Hey, man, that podcast was cool. You had Randy Couture on," and yeah, people were stoked on that one. The Randy Couture was great. I got some other big names in progress right now that I'm keeping in contact with. Yeah, we got some good stuff coming up. But I'll never forget the local guys. You know what I mean? Me and Archie and MMA Fight Pass. We're always going to support the local jiu-jitsu and MMA scene. Any type of martial art. It could be boxing, kickboxing, karate, anything like that. Local, we're all about the locals. And so if you're a local guy and you got something to say, you got something coming up, hit me or Archie up.
We just sent that email or that invite to Owen, so he should be getting that, Tom.
Yeah. This kid, man, if you want to roll with a young dude and get rolled up, this is a nice kid that won't hurt you. Can tap you out without hurting you.
All right.
The last time I was over there at Elite and getting some rolls in, it was a humbling experience, man. It was great though. Just got rolled. I don't think I tapped anybody that last night. I even got tapped out by a woman, man. I'm not ashamed to say it. Ron Holsey's wife got her hands on me.
Mm.
You ever roll with her?
Yeah, she's tough. I mean, she's been at it for a while. Hey, Tom, how about that new school that opened up, Selma BJJ?
There is a new school that opened up, guys. And Selma, right there in Selma, a new BJJ school, which is going to evolve into other things. We're starting it out as a BJJ. But my man right here, Archie, if some of you guys don't know, Archie's been around the martial arts scene and jiu-jitsu for a long time, competed. coaches. And Archie, tell us a little bit about the school that you just opened up.
Well, let's invite Owen, and we'll keep talking later about that, Tom. Here you go.
We'll talk more about it. Okay,
up,
look at this guy. What's up, Stud?
What's up? How are you guys?
Good. Good to see you.
Good.
How you doing, man? Can you hear us all right?
Yep, hear you perfectly fine. Yeah.
Good.
I'm doing good.
Are you at home kicking back or what?
Yes, sir. Usually Tuesdays are kind of like my chill day when it comes to training, so I kind of get to eat food, stuff like that,
So, guys, if some of you guys already know Owen and you train with him out there at Elite, but a lot of you guys may not know him. He's a local. He trains right here in Visalia at Elite Team. Do you live here in Visalia too?
Yeah, I live in Visalia. I live like southwest side of Visalia, and the gym's usually on the north side, so it's not too far of a drive. So I still live in town, yeah.
And you've been training for a long time, I know. How old are you now? And how old were you when you started jiu-jitsu?
I started training when I was 5 years old, and I'm turning 17 this year.
That's crazy, man.
So,
my math, right?
Yeah.
And you're training. I know your dad has been training for a long time too. He's been a friend of mine for a while. Cliff Sabro. He obviously probably got you into it. What was it like when you started? Was it just like a fun thing to do on the side?
Ever since I knew, my dad started training there at Lifestyles Gym before Tom even opened gym. And so then once Tom opened up a gym, my dad heard about it and moved over there. And for like the first year, my dad kept pushing Tom like, hey, let's open up a kids program. Like he really wanted to get me into it. Like I was the first kid in the kids elite team program. And so once Tom opened up that and my dad actually started teaching that, I was the first kid in there. And it's kind of started off as a fun thing. I honestly, for the first year I liked it, but after that, I wasn't really a big fan of it. I didn't really like jiu-jitsu that much. And my dad kind of drugged me there like every single class practice and everything. But lately, so once I turned like 12, 13, that's when I started taking it really a lot more seriously. And I tried just making it into like a actual habit of mine to train every day super hard and just getting better all the time.
Yeah, I imagine if you're anything like your father, you have that mindset to dig in, you know what I mean, and be serious about it.
Of course,
Your dad is an awesome coach, and the kids program over there has grown tremendously. It's huge, man. There's a ton of kids right there training, and so many of them are competing, and they are really good, man.
Yeah,
you guys got not just your dad, but there's a handful of coaches right there.
Yes. So the way the kids program works right now is we have 3 different sections every class. So it's an hour-long class, but we have one set aside for the beginners. My dad teaches the intermediate, and then actually me and Jacob Cisneros teach the advanced kids. So I'm one of the coaches now at Elite Team too. So we have a handful of coaches always helping out and making everyone better. So it recreates a really good competitive environment for everyone. It's really friendly and everything. So
and being a coach, I love coaching too. Being a coach, man, it evolves your game as well.
Of course, yeah.
Coaching really can help you. You know what I mean? If you're competing or doing whatever. But working with kids is something else. What you get from it, the feeling you get.
Yeah.
And then when you see those kids go out and accomplish something at a tournament, and you see them starting to learn the techniques and pull the moves off in class or at a tournament, it's a great feeling, man. It's a great feeling.
I know, yeah.
But anyhow, the reason I brought you on today is, this last year has been crazy. A lot of things were shut down. There wasn't too much jiu-jitsu action. Mm-hmm. But this last month, it seems to have opened up. And
quite a bit, yeah.
You guys, your team was all over the place this last weekend. And competing.
Yeah, we're a ton of people in Vegas. Kids competing back-to-back at the 5 grappling on Saturday, then immediately competing at the Naga on Sunday. And we actually brought home the team trophy, the second place out of everyone at that tournament, when we only had about a couple kids or whatever, and the people who got first place had 100 kids come, and we barely had 20, 30 kids come. So we were really excited about that. We had a total of 40 wins, and not counting my losses, because some of us closed out our division. So me closing out with my teammate counted as a loss. So in total, we probably had about 40 wins and 6 losses out of all of them. But the guy at the top place, they had 100 kids come, and they had 130 wins and 132 losses. So we brought in just a short amount of kids, but we just kicked butt and everything. And so we got a lot of points up there too. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, Tom told me earlier, it's because Tom, he keeps up on this stuff. He said the team's record for the whole weekend was 68 wins and 11 losses only, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really something else. And 5 of those losses we're closing out the division. You know what I mean? With teammates. So in reality, there was only 7 losses. That's tremendous, man. That's really something else. Congratulations to your team.
Thank you.
And
Thank
the
you.
other locals, of course. But I saw one of your matches, and it was great, man. The choke you pulled off at the end was really something else.
Oh, thank you.
Talk about your experience this weekend.
So I signed up for the juvenile division, so my personal division at like the 16 and 17-year-olds, and then I also signed up for the adult blue belt division as well in the same weight class. And so in my division, I ended up getting I shot up for a triangle. He got out, but I ended up finishing him with a cross choke from guard in about like 30 seconds or so. And so that was my juvenile division. And after that, I closed out with my teammate for that one. And then after that, I went into the adult division, and I almost got all submissions. I submitted almost all my opponents. No points scored on me except in the finals, where I ended up going to ref's decision. The guy was just really strong and like really shaky in guard, but it was a good match for sure.
So that match that I was watching, I saw a beautiful takedown, and then at the end you got that lapel choke. Was that juvenile or was that adult?
No, that was an adult. I believe that guy was like 26 years old or something like that. So
I was gonna say he looked like an adult. That must be something. That's really something else, man. You find out this kid, it's a younger dude that got you. But Archie, I sent you that video. Maybe you can play a little clip. No, that's an older match right there. But check it out, guys. You can play that while I send you this video again. What would you call that choke that you did on top of him?
On the guy, this most recent one?
Yes.
Ezekiel choke. Hands in the sleeve grips, hand comes over the throat. It's just pretty much a basic little Ezekiel choke, but I've been using that a lot lately. So
that's something you use in class a lot?
Yes, I've been trying to perfect that and perfect my triangles from guard as well. So
check this out. I like this right here. The beginning of this takedown is real sweet. I'm going to send it to – I sent it to Archie already. I'm going to send it again. Maybe just play this first video I'm going to send you, play the beginning to get the takedown, and then I'm going to send you another video, Archie, that has the finish, which is beautiful. Okay? So you should have got that one right now. It's a 48-second video. Just play for the first part to get the takedown, and then right now I'm sending you another video that has the beautiful finish at the end. Now, these tournaments, how old were you? What was your age of your first jiu-jitsu tournament? How old were you?
I think it was the first 2 months of training was my first tournament. I remember it was at a Grapple for the Cure and a Toss's gym up in Fresno back when I was a little kid, a little in-house tournament. So that was usually, I believe that was my first tournament. After that, I had some grappling X's here and there. But I believe it was like 2 months into training that my dad threw me into one, yeah.
Dang, Dad. Just toss him right in there. Hey, but your gym, you're rolling with all right, check this out, guys. Check out this little takedown right here.
No, so he stepped for Uchimata, and I tried to counter. I wanted to take him to his back, but that worked too. So, but I was really happy with that as well. This guy was actually
first match.
No, this was my second one, and this guy was actually like the best guy in the division. He was, I believe, from his Instagram stuff, he won Nogi Worlds a long time ago and stuff like that at Blue Belt. So he was pretty legit, and he was kind of the one I was looking at most. So he was actually pretty good, and I was really happy with that one.
Yeah, and you could tell he's good. He has a nice open guard, a really smooth open guard. So this is the first match of the day, or you had seen him fight already?
He fought another guy before this and ended up submitting him, I believe. And then I submitted my first guy with a triangle from close guard. And then this was a semifinals match.
So Archie, did you get that second video I just sent you?
I did. We're still looking. Let me stop this one. We'll go for the next one. Yeah.
And so that first tournament, like, what was it like for you in your head? You'd only been training for a couple of months, and I mean, what were you thinking? Do you remember?
Honestly, I don't remember much, but I think it was more of just like you're so young and you kind of it's hard to remember, but it's just excitement. You don't really know, like it wasn't competitive at all. It's more of just I'm coming out here to do jiu-jitsu. So that's more of like the mindset I had going into that, I believe, but it's kind of hard to remember going back that far, but it was. I just remember it being a fun experience.
That's cool, man. I was so nerve-wracked, man. My first jiu-jitsu tournament. After it felt good after. Archie, so in that second video, Go to about a minute into the video, Arch, where we'll see him mounted there. And your dad, is that your dad I hear in the background coaching you on this?
Yeah. He's usually in my corner almost every single tournament, and so usually when he's not there, it's a little bit more nerve-wracking, but I really like him in my corner. He keeps me calm, cool, and collected. So,
dude, and he gives precise advice. Last time I was at Elite and I trained with your dad. What I liked about training with your dad and a couple of guys there is they can tap you out without hurting you. You know what I mean? I have talks when I go to some gyms with young bucks. You know, I'm just, my body's older and man, I don't want to get hurt, man. You know what I mean? No more when I train. So I like to train with guys like your dad. He just rolled me up and tapped me out several times, but in a good fashion. And he would give me some tips, pointers. But those kind of guys are great, man. He can coach you on as he goes. And
of course.
He's not using muscle or power or anything. It's really clean jiu-jitsu technique, step by step. And it seems like kind of effortless to him in a way. And he's quite a bit smaller than me. So your dad, that's a good guy to have as a coach.
Yeah, and he's my number one training partner in class usually as well. He's always there with me and stuff, and him taking me to all these morning classes and night classes, making him better, and we each push each other and stuff. And so I really love to have someone that close to me. Just down the hallway, he's right there, and he's always helping me progress with my jiu-jitsu. So,
bro, that's a good father right there. So many people out there that don't have that, you know what I mean, in their life.
Father. I'm really grateful.
Yeah, that's great for you, for your dad, dude. Can't say enough good things about him. Now you, as far as your jiu-jitsu journey is going, what do you have planned for the future? Are you going to be doing these local grappling X's that are coming up here in the Valley?
I don't really know just yet, but it's coming up. Next week I'm heading out to Detroit for an IBJJF tournament, and so that one I'm pretty excited. I'm actually moving up a division because usually I compete at the 141 weight class, but I think it's time to start gaining some more weight, so I'm moving up to the 154. And then after that, I have in a couple weeks I have American Nationals, and I'm signed up for IBJJF Pans, and that's kind of what I have for the rest of this year, and then hopefully some super fights coming up and stuff like that out of state. But I think I might swing by to some of the local tournaments as well.
Now, like the IBJJF, as far as jiu-jitsu goes in a gi, would you consider them to be like one of the highest, like the top-notch?
I believe so. That and some of the big super fights. IBJJF is the biggest organization in jiu-jitsu, and I think they're the most prestigious. And if you win their tournaments, you're for sure like when IBJJF Worlds or IBJJF Pans, you're put up at the top compared to some other tournaments, you know. But I think another big one is a lot of the super fights that they're doing nowadays, like the Fight to Wins, the Third Coast Grappling, Submission Hunter Pro, just all those stuff where it's a super fight kind of with the MMA format and stuff like that. That gets you a lot of big publicity, and you get to go against some of the best guys there as well. So I think IBJJF is the most prestigious in my eyes. So that and ADCC.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like it's the most legit to me. The IBJJF. So it has its rule set. You know what I mean? That's obviously for a reason. When you go into these super fights, like Fight to Win, it's a whole different rule set, right?
But in my eyes, either way, I'm hunting for the submission, so I'm not really wanting to win by points. And going into a Fight to Win that is a submission only, I'm still hunting for the submission no matter what. So not a lot really changes. It just changes up some more tactical things. Like, let's say he passes your guard or something, you don't even have to worry about it. There's no points. As long as you're just going for those submissions, then that's all that matters. So I'm always just hunting for the submission. So when you hunt for the submission, you don't really have to worry about the rule set as much.
So always going for the finish, man. That's the whole thing with jiu-jitsu right there. That's great. Archie, you trained there at Elite. I'm sure you've probably ran across Owen on the mat a few times.
Yeah,
Archie's a beast.
Yeah, no, I roll with Owen, his dad. I mean, everybody. I mean, you know, Owen's a product of the gym of Tom Knox. And it's just, you know, amazing to see the kids program, and then now seeing Owen and Jacob and Josh. Wait, Jacob.
Jacob and Josh, yeah.
All of those Cisneros brothers, bro.
Yeah. Running the kids program, right? They're helping out with the kids.
Yeah.
And there's just so many kids, man. It's just amazing the different generations that are coming out of that program. And that's been, you know, my school from day one. So I love it, you know. It's an amazing place to work out.
Yes, and man, jiu-jitsu here in the Valley, not only is it growing, but the sport of jiu-jitsu and the style of jiu-jitsu it's evolved quite a bit, man, from like the
Yes,
horse
of course.
Gracie days,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
UFC 1 through 4, like it was beautiful to see like a basic style of jiu-jitsu. But now, if you watch jiu-jitsu tournaments now, it's you guys are doing completely different things. The guards
Yeah.
are different, the submissions, some of them are the same, but I mean the open guards and the different passes and the different ways you're hunting submissions, they have evolved tremendously, man, over the years. I can imagine in 10 years how it's going to be.
I know it's gonna be crazy. Just the game's constantly evolving. Like I just remember back when I'm 6 years old, all the way up until now, it's just changed so dramatically, and I just watched different things change. I remember first hearing about the daily Hiva guard and how crazy that sounds to me, and just open guard and stuff like that. But sometimes I do think that traditional jiu-jitsu beats the modern jiu-jitsu at times. That like a lot of my game consists of closed guard, collar, sleeve grip, just basic stuff, and that's what shuts down a lot of this sit to your butt kind of guard game a lot of the times. And sometimes the basic stuff just shuts it down. And I strongly believe that both of them just work together and just makes it incredible to watch.
Yeah, what you said right there is really great. I always like the old basic style. The new stuff, I like to learn it too. I'm always open to learn new stuff, but I think we're coming back into a time now. It's actually happening now where the guys that are using nothing but the new stuff, they're starting to get caught again with those old basic from the closed guard to triangle arm bar, apply to triangle, the raw basics.
Yeah, like Rafael Lovato in the recent super fight, he just did a nice knee cut to mount just to a basic Americana, and that shut down the guy's modern game, and stuff like that just destroys it. And I love jiu-jitsu for that. Yeah.
Yeah, Rafael is a great example, man. He reminds me of a lot of like Hickson Gracie.
Yeah,
With step by step pressure, and
pressure
he just accomplishes step by step. Boom, boom, knee on belly, knee cut, mount, pressure on the neck. You know those things. And Rafael is something else, man. Really something else.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever trained with guys like that? Do you have to leave the gym and go to other schools?
Yeah, I've left the gym and trained at a couple of gyms as much as I can. I want to do it a little bit more because sometimes training with the same people, of course, it's always good and everything, but sometimes it's good to just go out there, train with new people and stuff like that. So I want to train out with other people more, and I've trained up a lot of different gyms in my jiu-jitsu career and stuff like that. But I think still it's the best to just train at your base gym and stuff like that as well. Yeah.
Tom Knox just tuned in. Thank you, Tom. But before I just texted you, to get you on the show, I like to go, get permission from the guys and make sure it's all good. And I wanted to congratulate Tom for what you guys all did this weekend. But I got a hold of Tom first to just see if he could give me some names and give me a little, the people who did well this last weekend. And he gave me permission to talk to you. And then I got a hold of your dad. He gave me permission, and then I talked with you.
Yeah.
But Tom says,
Tom got a nice cross choke on me yesterday. Just a perfect clean cross choke. Basic jiu-jitsu destroys modern jiu-jitsu sometimes. Yeah.
A cross choke from a closed guard, he says. That's great. Yeah, Tom's a guy who has he definitely has down to a key the old school style and has evolved along with the.
No, Tom's teaching is incredible. Yeah. Of course, like everything he teaches there is on high level modern jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. And that's what really makes all of us progress. Of course, the people who train there, but Tom's incredible. Everything he does with the elite team and all the technique he shows, it's just his coaching is so precise, and he's an amazing guy, and I really look up to him.
Yeah, and I like to add that his basic skills. You just keep it basic a lot of times, and like you say, he teaches at all levels and modern, old school. But the basics is always there for the new students that walk in. Keeps it basic, and he has something for everybody. At this point.
Yes, something for the raw beginner at that school. I have respect for all the coaches. But I do when people ask me like I'm getting ready for a tournament. I'm getting ready for a fight. And what you just said is a lot of guys tell me I'm starting to be the best guy in my class on the mat where I'm tapping out everybody and not getting tapped out. Where should I go and train? I'm cool with all the coaches, but I say if it was me and I was getting ready for a jiu-jitsu tournament right here, you know what I mean? Coming up like something big like the Pans or the Worlds.
Yeah.
I would go there. You know what I mean? Because when I go there, I don't get hurt. The people are cool. I learn stuff. but I just get rolled up, man. I roll with a lot of different good guys, and that's what you want. If you're getting ready for something, guys, and you're not getting rolled with class, it's not a problem. It doesn't mean you have to leave your school, but you should seek other dojos and get out there. You know what I mean? Find people that you're cool with and get rolled up and learn new stuff. And
of course, yeah.
It's definitely a spot where you'll get rolled up. Like I told you, man, hey, I had a student this weekend, his first match in Naga, he texted me from Vegas and he said, it's a girl. You know what I mean? And I told him, hey, do not underestimate this girl, dude. You know what I mean? There's girls mixed in with guys all the time.
Yeah.
And I kind of think in his head it was his first time competing, and he probably, in his head, oh, it's a girl, I'm going to beat her easy or whatever. I told him, dude, she's in there for a reason, and she's down enough to get on that mat with these guys. Do not underestimate this girl.
Don't underestimate it, yeah.
You fought girls in tournaments, right?
Oh, yeah, all the time. And back, especially when you're a little kid, like going to all these tournaments, they always put the boys and girls together, and sometimes the girls usually tap out the guys. I know a lot of girls who beat a lot of the guys in the gym. Never underestimate anyone and stuff like that when it comes to tournaments. Treat every match like it's the world championship, and you'll do fine.
Yep, and I'm not ashamed to say it, because jiu-jitsu that's what it was meant for. Jiu-jitsu
exactly.
is great for a small guy or a weaker guy. It doesn't muscle doesn't come into play if you have the technique. But I've been tapped out 3 times by women. The first time is what blew my mind. It was at a Ralph Gracie school in San Francisco when I was younger. And this girl, she was smaller than me. Hey, and she just step by step, like we talked about, rolled me up and tapped me out. It blew my mind. It gave me a whole nother respect for it. And then my last time I trained at Elite, I don't know her name. She was an Oriental girl, very, very friendly. She got me with an armbar. And then, like I said, I rolled with Ron Holsey's wife. And
Gina, yeah.
Oh, dude. Hey, anybody who thinks that, you can beat any girl, go over there and check it out. Hey, she reminded me of Ron. Felt just like Ron. You know what I mean? Ron Holsey is a guy that's been around forever. But she was step by step, basic, and ended up armbarring me. Not just once, a couple times. And I'm cool with it. But when I tell guys that's like, you got beat by a girl, trust me, it can happen. Hey, jiu-jitsu, man, that's what it's for, right, Archie?
Yeah, no, girls are stiff as nails. I mean, girls. I've been around for a while, looking at different girls in jiu-jitsu and gi, no gi. They're tough. Don't ever underestimate a girl. And even and not only in jiu-jitsu, I'm sure in judo or in wrestling or other sports, these girls are getting into. They'll kick your butt if you kind of overestimate it.
And women have a little bit different type of mindset than guys in certain ways. Like I said, it wasn't nothing like crazy or it was nothing like special. It was just basic jiu-jitsu, side control with pressure, knee on belly. She got to a mount, and it was just step by step. I couldn't escape, and then armbarred me. Not once, but 2 or 3 times. So, yeah, cool stuff. I'll talk about the other schools here in a minute. We got some other guys coming on too. But anyhow, Owen, I just wanted to give you some props. A lot of you guys, you locals that are competing, a lot of people don't know what's going on. They don't hear about these tournaments that are happening. And me and Archie and MMA Fight Pass and the HammerFist podcast, we want to give support to the local jiu-jitsu, boxing, MMA.
Of course.
Anybody that's doing martial arts out there and doing their thing.
Thank you.
The Valley. Definitely, brother. And you're a youngster. And let me ask you this, man. Where do you see yourself in 10 years in this jiu-jitsu world?
10 years, I see myself being a multiple-time world champion and opening up a gym one day. And so that's my goal in life, is just keep doing jiu-jitsu no matter how long it takes. I'm going to just stay persistent and then hopefully get that world championship at black belt. And that's my goal.
Nice. Amazing.
I can see it happening, bro. I can see it happening. And you and your dad both have the mindset to do that. I can see you also being a great coach and owning your own gym.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, thank you. That's
awesome, man. There's nothing like being a coach, man, in this jiu-jitsu game. And sharing knowledge to the young people and new people that come into jiu-jitsu. It's like I said earlier, it's one of my favorite things about it. Competing and fighting is cool, but when you train somebody and you teach them, and then you see them actually learn it and then use that move on somebody, especially in a tournament when the other guy knows jiu-jitsu too, it's a great feeling, man. It's a great feeling.
Amazing, yeah.
Your dad, Cliff, thank you, bro. I know you're going to watch this, and I know your dad is super proud of you, man. And I want to thank Cliff. He's always cool. Whenever I hit him up, always gets back to me. He's a nice guy. The training in the gym when I trained with him was awesome. you want to train with somebody good or learn some stuff, go down and check out Owen or his dad or anybody in the gym, and you can get some knowledge, guys. One more thing that you said earlier, a lot of guys aren't open-minded enough to leave their gym and go check out other places here in the Valley.
Yeah.
Man, do it. There's nothing. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to leave your gym. Some people think, that they're hurting the coach's feelings. If your coach isn't down for that, there's something wrong. If
I know there's something wrong with the coach. Yeah.
Yes. Go out there and train with anybody that you can learn something from.
Yeah,
and
of course.
If you choose to stay at that gym, it's your life and it's your decision, and that's all good too. So, Owen says you're a better teacher than him. Or no, Cliff says. Cliff says you're a better teacher than him.
No, I don't believe so.
Hey, thanks again, Cliff, for getting back to me right away today, man. And like I said, I was going to reach out to you, but I thought it might be good to go to your dad. And he told, your dad said about you is I was going to get your dad and you on here at the same time. And your dad said, you know what, my son can handle himself. And he's right.
Hey, you did a good job.
Thank you.
You're a young man, but you're very mature, bro. And you can handle yourself well. And I know the martial arts has definitely probably helped you along. Life.
Yeah. Everything. Yeah.
It does, man. Training in jiu-jitsu is, every martial art style does it, guys. It gives you something else, like it'll enhance your life. But there's something about jiu-jitsu because it's so humbling, and the things you learn and you're always learning. Yeah, it changes your life, man. It makes you a different person if you stick with it. You got to stick with it, though.
Of course.
You got to be dedicated to it if you want to go to tournaments and do like what this young man is doing. So,
that's right.
Brother Archie, you got anything else to ask this young man?
No, hey, Owen, thank you for coming on. And I've seen you work out for many years already, and we've rolled together, and it's amazing. So, we'll see you one day, and
right.
we're doing an affiliate here in Selma, Selma BJ.
Oh, nice. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So we're still part of the family, and we're going to be going out there on Saturday. So hopefully once you're out there on Saturday. I was off the map for a while, but I'm back.
Yeah.
Even though Archie's off, he's still really good to roll with too.
I know,
Archie, man, I love guys like you. The more skillful the guy, a lot of guys might be intimidated to roll with the upper belts or the guys that compete a lot. But to me, if you're a new guy, like you and your dad and like Archie and Tom and Ron, and those are the best ones you want to get in there and roll with, because they'll beat you, but they won't hurt you. You know what I mean? A lot of guys are worried about getting hurt. And if you're going in, I'm talking a lot of people are wanting to start jiu-jitsu right now. It's getting popular, man, here. And I always tell people you could add to this. When you go into a jiu-jitsu gym, no matter where it's at, go in there with an open mind, be humble, be friendly, and you know what I mean? Be willing to learn, be willing
prepared to tap out. Yeah,
be prepared to get tapped out. And you're going to find out real quick if you stay with it for any length of time. Getting tapped out is a great thing, and it's no big deal. It's just part of the thing. You know what I mean? It's part of the deal. It's part of the deal, and it's nothing to be sad about or anything like that.
Yeah.
You're going to get tapped out, and the more you get tapped out, that means you're rolling with good guys, and that's only going to enhance your game and your life.
Yeah.
And like we said, it'll humble you in other areas of your life, and it'll make you a friendlier person to people. You'll accept losses in other areas of your life, and Owen, I'm going to let you go, my brother. Thanks for coming on the show. It was your first time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, thanks. So you take care and keep training hard.
All right. See you guys later.
All right. See you on the mat, brother.
That's right.
All right. Show, man.
Nice.
So, guys, we're going a little bit long on the show, but it's all good. We got a couple more people to bring onto the show right now.
Send me those emails, Tom.
Okay. So, what do you think about Owen, man? Have you rolled him? Is he pretty sick or what?
Oh yeah, these guys are pretty fast, and obviously, right, because they're real limber and Gumby type, and it's definitely great to roll with these guys. Even Cliff, Cliff has these nice sweeps that he teaches, and I've used once in a while there.
I like rolling with Cliff a lot. Cliff he can do the new school game of jiu-jitsu, but when I roll with Cliff, it was very precise, basic techniques, and that he's got down to a science. And like I said, he won't hurt you, man. It's a big thing for me, man. I've been hurt at gyms, you know what I mean? And You get with these youngsters in there, and they'll go for the kill. But Cliff, he would tap me out, and I would ask him questions, and he would answer me, and he would tell me what I did wrong. And if you're open-minded to accept that as a thing, you know what I mean, you'll learn something, and you'll gain something from it. So I just sent you an email for Gabriel from Team KO, but I'm going to see if we can get all these guys on at once.
Yeah, keep sending the emails, and I just send out the invite to Gabriel, and they'll just drop in as they can, you know.
Guys, a lot of jiu-jitsu action coming up. We got Grappling X from Corey Cass. He's going to be back in the Valley. It's another guy that trained here in the Valley with us and helped the sport of jiu-jitsu grow. And then when he moved away, he had love for the Valley and still does, and he makes it a point. He doesn't have to bring his tournament right here to the Valley. And man, his tournament is one of the best ones around too. And he supports us. You know what I mean? Corey Cass supports the Central Valley locals right here. And we're going to have some tournaments coming up too. All right. Okay. You go ahead and send that kid an invite.
Yeah, so speaking of tournaments, there's a tournament that Underground Fight Series was going to happen June 6th. That has now been moved to June 20th, and we're going to start. I was just talking to Mason Fowler. So Mason Fowler and I were putting this together, the same one that we talked about earlier, Tom. And so June 20th is a new date. So there you go. We're going to be doing the Underground Fight Series at Halo Jiu-Jitsu June 20th.
Is the next one going to be at Halo again?
Yes, the next one will be at Halo Jiu-Jitsu. And you can go and register. Let me write that here. Underground Fight Series.com, June 20 at Halo.
That was fun. We did that, man. We got a lot of good response from it.
So right there, undergroundfightseries.com, June 20th at Halo.
Back in the cage, jiu-jitsu in the cage.
Yes, sir. So I sent out that first email. I mean, yeah. So if you want to let the guys know about the next one.
Did you get the one from George Avila?
Yeah. No, maybe not.
I'll send it to you again. His son, these guys, they're from Farmersville, from a small little gym, Team KO. And
I just got that first one, Tom. Gabby.ma.
Okay, Gabriel. That's Gabriel.
Yeah. And I already sent Gabriel the invite.
Yeah, I just sent you George Avila's son. He's a little youngster. His nickname is Boogeyman. He's from Farmersville. He's a little wrestler. He did his first jiu-jitsu.
I met Boogeyman before.
Yeah, cool little kid, man. Trains every day, a youngster. And he's a wrestler. That's his main thing. But he did his first jiu-jitsu tournament. You know, I thought with his wrestling experience that he would do well in a jiu-jitsu tournament. Hasn't been training jiu-jitsu for long, but stepped up and went over to Vegas and jumped in that Naga gi list this weekend. Had a good little experience over there. We had 5 guys go over there and do well. They all got either silver or gold medals for their first time. I was pretty stoked.
All right. Hello, Tom Owens.
Hey, there's Gabriel. How you doing, sir?
Good. You know, just practice and everything else like that. Getting ready for the Fresno tournament. So yeah.
All right, Gabriel. So Gabriel, let me see if I can pronounce your last name. Manriquez.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Manriquez. How you doing, brother?
Good.
Hey, man, it was your first time competing too this weekend. You went out to Vegas, and I got a chance to train with you a little bit, you know, this last couple months, and I didn't really know you too much before, but I know you trained harder because I've seen you out there at the gym, and I know you had wrestled before, right? You had a history of wrestling before this jiu-jitsu thing.
Yeah.
How long were you wrestling? Like, what age were you when you started wrestling?
Well, for me, I started when I was in 7th grade, so when I was like 14. So yeah.
What high school did you wrestle for?
Huh?
What high school did you wrestle for, Gabriel?
Well, for me, I was wrestling for Golden West.
Okay, Golden West. Visalia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Visalia. All right.
Where you at? Is that your pad right there? You're at the pad chilling?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, there's the other guy right there that they all I know, man, I know him as Boogeyman. I don't even know that I've trained with this kid a bunch, but all they do is they call him Boogeyman. I don't even know your real name, little guy. What's your name?
Loretto Avila.
Say that
Loretto Avila. And how old are you, bro?
11.
11 years old, man. And you've been wrestling. That's your dad next to you. Put the camera on your dad real quick.
Let me send it to my email.
Get in the camera, George. All right.
There we go.
There he is. That's George right there. George has been a part of training at Team KO for as long as I can remember. He's always involved with all the fighters there, and he's always training. You know what I mean? And
Looks like
he's got his son involved in it. And George, how long have you been there with Team KO with your son?
Well, we've been there about 5-6 years.
You live right there in
Boogeyman
Farmersville?
started before me, so
So he started, and
we live close to Coach Danny.
okay. Now, Boogeyman, I know you did the wrestling tournaments before. You had done it quite a bit. What did you think about this first jiu-jitsu tournament, man? You have fun?
Yeah, I was pretty nervous too.
And you went out there. You guys drove all the way out there to Vegas. Felt good?
How many matches did you have, Boogeyman?
Just one.
And how did you
And
win?
Yeah.
You won. All right, there you go. How did you
Hey,
win?
tell us about what that thing you were holding. Was that tell me this. This is the coolest thing I ever seen. When you were on the podium, you were holding what looked like a sword. Was that the trophy they gave you?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
first place got a sword, and second place got medals, and like that.
Can you show a picture of that, Archie? Did I send you a picture of that?
I think so. I'm looking for it. Oh, here we go.
Hey, even as an adult, man, I would love to get that. That was so cool to see that you holding that sword up there.
There it is.
Where's the sword at there?
Right here.
Well, Michael's holding the sword right now. That's Michael Saldana. He also competed.
Is that the sword, though, you're talking about?
Yeah, but there's a picture I sent you of him holding the sword. I want people to see this.
Oh, him. Okay.
So
Yeah.
cool, man. And the medal, too.
Where are those pictures at? Let me bring that back up, Tom. Hold on a second. Let's
Yeah.
keep going here. I'll find it.
Gabriel,
Yeah, Tom.
why aren't you training tonight, bro?
He was
Taking a break?
Wow. I was
Hey,
there.
these guys train every day, Archie. I'm not kidding. Hey, for a little gym and this small group of guys, hey, dedication, man. And like we talked about it earlier, dedicate. If you want to be an MMA fighter or wrestling or jiu-jitsu, if you want to be good at it and get to a high level, dedication is a part of it. And mostly Team KO, what Team KO is known for, like Jeremy talked about earlier, is they're known for the local MMA guys. They've had a ton of guys come out of that gym. It's a small unknown place. A lot of people have no idea about it. But in all these local MMA shows, there's always a Team KO guy. And one thing I can say about the Farmersville people is their game, man. Their game. They go in there, even if they don't have all the knowledge of some of the guys, or they're not training with the top level guys, they'll go in there and fight, and they always do well. And part of the reason for that is the coaches out there, Danny Valadinos and Johnny and Pato, Juan Pato. You guys got a whole bunch of coaches that have always been dedicated. And talk a little bit, Gabriel, about Danny and what Danny's done for you in your life.
Well, shoot, what do you call it? Danny helped me a lot. Well, because at the beginning, my beginning year, I wasn't really good at wrestling. I probably only had like 2 winners after my whole season. But
Jacked
when I
up
started they started helping me with like cardio. Cardio, I was working on hella with Danny because my cardio wasn't there.
1 second, Gabriel. Hey, are you hooked into the Wi-Fi there with a wire?
Me?
Yeah.
with the no. He's doing it from his phone, but I'm trying to put it onto my laptop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe move around a little bit. Let me see if I can hear you a little bit better, bro.
It's just the audio is a little.
Yeah.
So
We
maybe
can see you good.
can you see him on here?
Wow, hold up. Let me do this. I'll join back right now. I'm gonna log on to the computer first.
Okay. George and Boogeyman.
Yeah.
Hey, I know Danny. I brought you guys on here because Danny to me is always been respectful since I met him way back in the very first cage fights in the Valley when I first fought. Um, ever since I've known Danny, he's always been really respectful. And Danny, he invited me out there one time to go just teach some jujitsu basics. And I went out there and I liked the people and I started teaching out there. And I mean, he's such a cool dude. He even gave me keys to the gym, and I can go to the gym anytime. I could go sleep there if I needed. Uh, I mean, he gave me keys to the gym. You know what I mean? I got such respect for him, and I go out there, and that's why when I go out there and I help the guys, I'm not asking for money. Um, I'm just teaching basic stuff, and I'm giving back. You know what I mean? I'm giving back to Danny and them what he's given to me, a spot to teach. You know what I mean? And be a coach and do something that I love, and be a part of this what I love. And man, the stuff I showed you, I don't only worked with you guys for maybe 2 months for this tournament. And when I was watching the video clips, man, with that little bit of training, you guys were putting the stuff to use. So you were obviously paying attention and the drills that we did. And yeah, I was really happy, man. I was super proud of you guys, and it was a good feeling to see you guys go out there and put those techniques that we worked on to use in the tournament. Usually, it takes a lot longer, drilling and repetition. And right, Archie, usually it takes quite a long time to learn moves and be able to put them to use in a tournament.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It should take definitely, 2 months is great if that's how you've had for training for a tournament, but the longer the better, of course. And it's good to hear that, that all you guys have been training and went to a tournament to actually go compete. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and right there at Farmersville, unfortunately, I know there will be, and I'm teaching these guys and turning them into coaches. You know what I mean? Because a couple of them want to be coaches, and unfortunately, there's not a black belt that lives right there in Farmersville, so they don't. They have boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, but they don't have a black belt in jiu-jitsu, except if I go out there, from time to time. And I'm not the greatest black belt, but hey, when you don't have a black belt or a jiu-jitsu or a jiu-jitsu coach, any knowledge is welcome, man. And when I go in there and I teach these guys, hey, they have full focus and they do everything that I say. And that's why they were able to put it to use. But Boogeyman and George here, you guys have been with Danny and Johnny and those guys for probably longer than most. How has Danny changed your life? You know what I mean? In this martial arts action.
Danny
Not
with us
martial
is
arts, but in life and all. I mean, everything.
Danny is somebody you can count on. Like, times are times are hard, and he's there to help us out, focus, and I was trying to help out the community, help us out. Same thing with Juan Pato Jimenez, the coach Pato, his brother Johnny too. They're always there, really willing to help us out and everything, push us, push the boogeyman. If I can't make it, they'll be like, hey, we'll pick him up, or hey, you can't make it to the tournament, just call us, let us know. We have your guys' back, and that's a big old heartwarm um, feeling for the boogeyman and myself, And the training is hard, it's difficult, but they're willing there to push us and push boogeyman most of all. Because they see potential, they see something different, and that's how it is with them.
Yes, it is. And Danny is such a he's like myself a lot. He's such a nice guy, warm-hearted guy. I mean, he'll let anybody come into the gym as long as you have a good attitude. But a lot of these kids and young kids that go in there and train, they don't have the money to pay a monthly fee at a place. Bottom line, some people do, and some people do put in money at KO. But for the most part, Danny and them they're keeping it open on their own, out of his own pocket. He'll let anybody train there, and most of these kids, he lets train for free, and adults too. And he's tuning in right here. He says, "Hi guys, you guys are awesome. Keep spreading the word. Our community supports you." Yes, and Danny, we support you as well. And like I said, I wish somebody, the community or the town, the city council would recognize what he's doing with these kids. And we're in a little gym right now. It's a good spot. It's a good spot. It works. We got everything in there that we need. But man, I believe that they should put in, the city sees what he's doing and give this guy a spot. You know what I mean? Like give him a big gym to work. They have a huge kids team right now, a huge kids program, boxing and wrestling. There's more kids than adults. And I mean, you go into one of those wrestling classes. I was impressed this last month watching the kids in wrestling. They're there every single day, more than the adults. They are working, man. But it's a small little gym, and we need a big spot, man. And I believe it will happen. Farmersville is growing, and I believe sooner or later on that main boulevard right there, Team KO is going to be a bigger gym, and it's going to be, you know what I mean? It's going to have everything that we need, bigger mat space, all the right coaches, and they're going to keep pushing. Even if he doesn't get the gym, he's going to keep pushing, and he's going to keep doing his thing regardless. He could be in a garage, and he'd have these guys out fighting. And Danny, if you train with him, he'll push you, and even if you're not the best guy, but he sees you coming, he'll push you, and he will try to get you to compete. It's all about competition. And like I said, they're probably his favorite thing is MMA, but man, he pushes people to do wrestling tournaments, jiu-jitsu tournaments, boxing. In Vegas, I got to give props to their boxing team. The kids' boxing team also went to Vegas this weekend, and man, they had a good little group, and they all won their boxing fights over there. So a lot of props to those young kids, man. They're doing stuff that most adults won't do. For a small gym like that, going to Vegas and competing in that boxing thing, I was impressed too, because I know Vegas is they're big for boxing, and Vegas brings people from all over to do like those boxing deals. So yeah, it was stoked. Danny, log in if you can. Danny, send us your email, bro, so we can talk to you for a minute, if possible.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Danny, send us your email.
But yeah, man, Chris Ronquillo, hello. I don't know if our audience can read these.
Yeah, they can.
Oh, they can.
Yeah,
okay.
But you can. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I miss Chris, man. Chris has always been a part of the deal, just like Jeremy. I met Chris even before, since my very first cage fight out there in Porterville at the casino. Chris was in the mix, man, and right there, cage side, doing his thing. He's always been in the mix and always will be. And Chris is another guy that you can get a hold of, and he'll give you advice if you need. And he's got a lot of knowledge. But we miss Chris. Chris, like a lot of us this last year, has been going through stuff, but he's not a quitter. Chris will go through the hardest time and get through it. And we can't wait to get you back in the mix, Chris.
Yeah, no, definitely. Chris is responsible for this podcast, for this 45th podcast, because back in the day when I first met Chris, a little quick story is it was at, where was it at? Well, it was at a gym, and I seen Chris. He goes, "Hey, what do you do?" I said, "Well, what are you doing?" Well, what do we? So we started talking, and he says, "Hey, you know what I want to do?" He goes, "I want to put something that's called like a radio show." I said, "Well, they're called podcasts nowadays, Chris." He goes, "Well, yeah. Can you help? Let's do this." And bro, that's how it started. He and I, we were at a gym. TK, what was it? It wasn't Visalia, but anyhow, because of this guy, here we are today.
Yeah, and Chris, man, he saw something in it. I know he did. Chris saw something in it. He got a hold of me and you and a couple other guys, and not all of us that we started are still doing it, but me and Archie, man, we're sticking with it, dude. And I don't know where it's going to go, but we're on 125 now, and now we're doing these virtual shows. I think it's like 50 something in the virtual, and but now that this COVID crap is over, you're going to see me and Archie. We're going to be back in the studio. We got invites to Randy Couture's gym, to all these different gyms, Gracie gyms. We're getting, every time we do a podcast with somebody, one of our things is we want to talk to them and go to their gym and learn something and do our show inside the dojo, which we had to quit doing because of the whole COVID. But that's one of my favorite things, Archie. I can't wait to start doing that again.
Well, we're going to do it in a couple of weeks, Tom. We're going to Vegas. Carmen sends a message on behalf of Danny. Can you read that, Mark? Tom, can you see that?
Hey, Carmen, this is Danny's wife, and she trains harder than I'll say her. I've seen her train and worked with her. She trains hard, just as hard, if not harder, than most men. Dedicated. She was going to do the Naga tournament, and she's never competed or done anything like that. And she was just going to jump right in there in that Naga tournament, and she got hurt right before it, so she had to back out. But hey, I was working with her and watching her roll up dudes in that gym. You know what I mean? She's yeah, she's down. And Carmen, thank you for your help with the Team KO, and we'll see you hopefully maybe in one of these Valley competitions. But I look forward to working with her more because she paid such great attention.
Hey, Tom, what do they say? Behind every good man is what?
A good woman, bro. Hey, a strong woman, and she's down for her dude. Hey, a little story. For when they got married, this was actually my first ring announcing experience. I got the video somewhere, but they had like a little boxing ring right there, and because he's into fighting and martial arts so much, they did it. I ring announced them when each one of them walked out to the boxing ring to do their the wedding deal, and yeah, it was something else. That was my first experience. But anyhow, she's down for it. Danny, he'll be on here pretty quick. Gabriel, can you hear us now? Gabriel, what'd you think of your first experience out there in Vegas, man? Gabriel, your Wi-Fi sucks, bro. You look handsome, though. It's the Wi-Fi, man. Archie.
Yo, Tom.
Well, how was it? Hey,
it looked like the boogeyman was at the gym, yeah?
That kid is there every day, bro. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
He does 2 or 3 sessions a day, bro, and he's in the look at wrestling training. They do conditioning. He'll come and do jiu-jitsu, and on every Saturday they spar like an MMA type of sparring, and he's there every time. This kid sticks with it, and I believe he will. He's going to be something else. I knew he would do good in that tournament. I knew he would do good. I was hoping he'd be in a bracket with more kids, but it was a good experience. What he got. He's going to be competing here in the these next the Grappling X and
like that during some
all the tournaments that are coming up.
We can hear you now, Gabriel. Say a word. I can hear you now.
Oh yeah. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is just acting up.
Tom, now, Tom. Ask him a question when he goes away.
So I just changed it to my phone right now. So yeah.
Okay, Gabriel. Just like Boogeyman is he's in shock right now, just looking at the camera. It's all good, man. Hey, guys, I brought these guys on because I'm proud of them, and you guys may not know them or know the gym, but I got to work with them, and I was proud of them. And I was more impressed that they had the guts to go to this tournament like that. I didn't compete in a jiu-jitsu tournament until years after of training jiu-jitsu. I probably had at least 6 or 7 years of training before I even thought about going into a jiu-jitsu tournament. What about you, Archie? How long did you train before you hopped in a tournament?
I think I did it quite quickly. I think probably 6 months or less. I had the itch right away. I mean, I just was ready for it. You know what I mean? And I did it. And I've been competing ever since. I don't know, probably 30 tournaments so far, perhaps 20 tournaments at least. It's been fun.
It is fun, dude. It's something else, man. And you locals that are out there, hey, it's some different type of lifestyle. It'll enhance your life in different ways, man. If you're interested in it, hey, you're in Visalia. There's 3 or 4 different gyms here. You want to train with us in Farmersville? You got that. Tulsa's got it. Fresno's got it. Now Selma's got a badass jiu-jitsu gym that just opened. The Selma gym is going to not be just jiu-jitsu. It's going to evolve into everything: wrestling, boxing, MMA, the whole thing, right, Archie?
Yeah, we currently actually have boxing classes as well. We're adding striking, but when people say striking, okay, well, what kind of striking? Well, it's boxing, and we currently are going to do wrestling and jiu-jitsu and MMA. You know, of course, yeah, definitely, one step at a time. But no, we're excited for that, Tom. Selma Jiu-Jitsu, Selma BJJ.
There it is, right there. Selma BJJ. There's going to be all kinds of different coaches coming in there.
Isaac Morales, real quick, is One of is the head coach. So Isaac Morales is a bad dude, black belt under Tom Knox also.
Yeah, very cool guy too. A good guy to learn from. A lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, and like I said, super cool guy. Yeah, that's a good coach right there. That's a good guy to have. Gabriel, can you hear us now?
Yeah.
So Gabriel, I know a little bit about you, and I know on the outside of the training and stuff, you know, like everybody as a youngster, you have your ups and downs, and you can hang around the wrong guys and get into trouble and stuff as young and take the wrong path. But you've obviously have changed your path, and I know Danny and these guys are a big part of that. Danny's told me a little bit about your past and how you've changed. Talk a little bit about Danny and how Danny has helped you, bro.
Danny has been a good coach, honestly. Like, he helped me through a lot of things. And knowing that, I'm grateful for everything. Like, I'm grateful for Juan Pato too, because without Juan Pato, I probably would never been at KO, honestly, because I didn't know nothing about KO, and Pato was the first person that told me about it.
Yeah, Pato's another guy there that's he's been there through the whole thing, and Pato, he's competed in all over in wrestling. He's done a bunch of MMA, and he is there for the fighters. He'll go, even if he's not competing, he's always there, and he'll do the sparring classes. He'll coach you. He'll help you. And hey, that's a tough dude right there. A tough dude, and if you're getting ready for a fight, that's a good guy to have. That's the kind of partner you want to have in your sparring if you're getting ready for a fight. He won't go too crazy on you, but it'll be realistic. And that's one thing about you guys' sparring there is it's a realistic. It's not overboard. You guys aren't trying to kill each other, but you are keeping it real. And like I said, every Saturday, these guys that are getting ready for fights, even guys that aren't fighting, they step into that sparring class, and man, it's really something else. So yeah, Juan, Danny, what's the boxing coach's name out there, bro? I met him once.
Which one?
The one that went to Vegas with the kids.
Carlos?
You mean not shoot, I forgot. Chris. We call him Primo though.
Primo?
Yeah, and then Martin Gomez. I think he went out there too.
So Martin Gomez.
Yeah,
Martin Gomez is not only a coach there. He's a competitor and fights in MMA too. He's got a bunch of fights, and even when he's not fighting, he's there helping everybody out and getting people ready. It's a good little family. Hey man, I talk about it to people all the time just because I like spots like that. I could go train at any gym, and I still do go around and get roles in at the bigger gyms and the well-known ones. But KO will always be like a family type place for me, and I'm always will stay even when I open up my gym here in this next year or so. I'm going to stay collaborated with Team KO in some way or another. You know, the box will be mixed and teamed up with Team KO. That we'll train together and we'll stay affiliated with each other. And just because of how they've treated me over there. So Team KO, if you guys are in Farmersville or you just want to get a different experience, it's a good spot to go. And Carmen, so much love and respect for me. Hey, likewise, man. Likewise. You guys have showed me, hey, when I first went out there, I'm probably maybe the only white dude out there. Not to talk about races or anything.
Wait, first of all, hold up. I'm white too. Calm down, buddy.
No, you're not white, bro. You might be like hey,
I'm Mexican, white, and Portuguese.
Hey, when I went out there the first couple of times though, like they don't know you, they don't know who I am, and I'm this guy that Danny brings in to try to teach some stuff, and it was kind of intimidating a little bit, man, because I've seen all these guys fight. You know what I mean? And I'm going to try to teach these guys something or roll with these guys I don't know. But I've seen them all in fights, in MMA fights. And, after a little while out there, though, they welcome me in. And, like, now when I go out there, it is truly like a family for me. So Coach Carlos is the guy I'm talking about. He went with Martin and helped out Danny with the boxing kids out there in Vegas. So, yeah, the boxing tournament was I'm getting it wrong. The boxing tournament was in Bakersfield. Look at me.
So right, but you know what? You had it right. The sport. There was boxing this weekend, bro. So that's also,
There's so much going on. Well,
that's the good part.
you
There's
made
some,
it sound like it was in Vegas, though, to me. Anyhow, I got it wrong. It was in Bakersfield. But all those kids, they went out there and they won their fights. So I'm proud of them. I hope they keep it up, keep it going. Jesus Garcia, another local jiu-jitsu guy. I love you too, brother. That's one of the originals from the box right there. Archie, you went out there with me one time, right? Didn't we do like a little interview
where?
at Team KO?
Well, man, we've done so many things at Team KO. Shit, we've, I mean, you know, like you're saying, Danny's an amazing guy. He's gave us or gave you the key so that we've had about 2 or 3 podcasts from in there, live podcasts, and we've trained there, taken a few kids to go train there. Man, we've done all kinds of stuff there. Danny's, you know, it's a good spot.
Yes, good little spot. Like I said, man,
I go back. I got to go back over there. I need to go.
And I'm going to say it, man. I tell these guys, because I know you guys that are the train they're going to watch this at some point. Some of you guys, you know, some people take advantage of a situation when a guy doesn't charge you. You know, I have to say it, and I'll tell guys right, you know, right to their face, hey, don't take kindness like that, man. If you can afford to pitch into the gym, just because the guy's not billing you or asking you for money, and you can train there for free. Hey, you see what he's doing? Pitch in something, a case of water. If you can give the guy money to help out for the bills, do it, man. That's the only way we're going to grow. Like I said, we're never going to stop training, even if it's in a garage or a backyard. But we want it to grow. We want to have Team KO to grow into a big dojo. You know what I mean? A big dojo with a big mat, a cage inside, everything. Like I said, we have almost everything out there. A boxing ring, the weights, the bags, the gear. But we're in a small little place that's kind of hidden off to the side, which is a good thing in ways. But, I know Danny, and he wants to help people out, and I do too, and we want to grow it. And Farmersville, there's a lot of people out there, more than you would think. And so you guys sponsor us, pitch in money, anything you could do to help, man. Don't just take the free classes for granted and because you can. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's a nice guy. He's not going to ask for it, but pitch in a little bit if you can. Do something to pitch in any way or another. So, Boogeyman, you're right there, real quiet. What do you think about that sword you got, bro?
I was happy.
Yeah,
I was
nice.
surprised too.
You didn't? Did you not know that you were going to get that sword?
No.
So you got the sword and a medal too. Is it a real sword or is it wood or plastic or what's the deal with that sword?
It's a real, but the case is wood.
Oh, all right. You start chopping people up. There it is right there. And how about your competitor that you fought, Boogeyman? He fought, like we were talking about earlier, they mix girls and boys up all the time. She actually was coming out of Randy Couture's school. I looked her up. She came out of the Extreme Couture gym, which is definitely a good gym. I knew that she would be good. What did you think of her? Did you talk to her after the match? Was she nice or friendly?
Yeah, she was nice and friendly. In the beginning, when our match started, she was pretty strong. I felt surprised.
Yeah, she's definitely had some experience. Was she? How did you feel like compared to boys? Was she pretty tough?
Yeah.
She looked like it. It looked like it to me. She went for the takedown on you, the Osotogari, that little leg trip, and you were able to reverse it. And then she had a really good guard game, it looked like to me. But you would pass the guard a couple times, and she would get it back. And, she looked like she was tough. She didn't give up at all, so props to her. And Randy Couture's gym out there, I know they had a ton of people competing in that Naga. You know what I mean? They had a ton of people out there. So we got another message coming in. Carmen. Yeah, just like we're saying, she says, Danny is an amazing person. All the kids see him as a mentor, coach, and a father figure. That's true. I do as well. I see him as definitely a mentor and a coach. You know what I mean? He'll help you in any way he can. And thank you to the other coaches, Hato, Coach Jose, Michael, Fit. You guys probably know him on Facebook. There's other guys that drop in there, but those guys are always there. They've always been there. and I'm sure they'll probably stick with the program for a while. So, Archie, what do you got going through that head of yours, bro?
Oh man, it's just amazing, I mean, being a part of all this and going to all these gyms, like you're saying, and Pato, like you're saying, I mean, all these guys there, Coach Josue, I mean, especially Danny, and even the guys that have been boxing and competing are giving back. Gabriel mentioned what the heck is Mark.
Martin.
Anyway, it was, coaches giving back, So the bottom line is that the program that is at Team KO is amazing. And when I first got into the MMA scene, that was one of the first teams that right away, came up. Team KO, MMA fighting, So much respect to them. I got to go back and train with them and give back some of the knowledge and do some rolling with the guys, with you, Gabriel, with you. Boogeyman, all you guys.
Yeah, and I wanted to get the other guys that competed on here. Michael Saldana, he was one of the guys that was coming to my house and training in the driveway with me on some mats. And Christopher Jeffries, they call him Beast. They both also competed. And man, I was really proud of those guys. It was their first jiu-jitsu tournament. And Michael, man, he pulled off some of the stuff that we had been working on. From a mount to an armbar, an S mount armbar, the Ron Holsey S mount armbar, and then the guy defended it and he switched off to a triangle. It was great, man. I was really happy to see that because it was something that we had been working on. And Jeffries, I know he was nervous. Christopher was nervous. I could tell you were nervous leading up to this tournament, and you were asking me a lot of questions. And man, you were doing everything I said, but you were asking a lot of questions. And I could tell as the tournament came closer, you were getting nervous like all of us do. It's a natural feeling, but you went out there and you did your thing, man. You guys had fun and you guys had a good experience. Some of you guys got tapped out and took it with a humbleness. And I know now that you guys got that first experience, you're ready. You're going to be a little bit more ready for this next tournament coming up here in the Valley. So we're going to keep training for that. I'm going to keep coming out there, and I'm going to keep traveling with Archie, going to these other local gyms. Me and Archie, we're going to be going to Vegas to do it inside the dojo here real soon. And we got the invite from Randy Couture to go in his gym, man, and do a inside the dojo at Randy Couture's gym. So that's going to be epic right there. We're going to go in there and we're going to learn some stuff. We're going to interview the fighters there, and we're going to, see Randy in person. It's going to be great. And from this point on, man, we're going to keep doing those inside the dojos. And we have, I can't even say all the names of the guys, but a lot of invites to some big name gyms. And it's going to be a great experience for me and Archie, and everybody can tune in and watch those shows after to learn a little something. So I love this podcast, and I'm getting a lot out of it, man. Not just talking to you guys, but getting to go to these gyms and train. I'm learning a lot. So can't keep going on, guys.
It was a great marathon show, man. Oh my God, this is probably guys. We broke the record, 2 hours of this podcast. This is amazing. A lot of information. I mean, this is how much MMA has grown, and this is how much we've missed it. And this is all Central Valley MMA talk. I don't think we've kind of left the Central Valley too much today, did we, Tom?
No, today was all about the Central Valley because people see us and they ask me too, like, "Oh man, you had Kung Lee or you had Gracie on, and I seen you had Randy Couture, so you guys are doing these big names." Hey, we love doing those big names. I'm always going to keep doing that. But like I say it, I'll say it again. Hey, I love the local scene, man, and I'm always going to support all of our local gyms, not just one or certain people. Me and Archie, we're going to support the locals, the whole scene, and that's a big thing that we do. So we're gonna keep watching the local scene grow, and we're going to keep going with the big guys too. And hopefully this podcast, before we know it, it's going to be episode 500 with GSP or somebody crazy. Who knows? Our locals that's made it to the UFC, which just happened. But we haven't been doing many shows, guys, so I wanted to make this one good. We did a double feature today, so this is our longest show, Archie, for sure.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, so much material, so much information, and I'll try to chop this up in a couple shows, just to kind of So when people go back, they don't. I mean, but it's electronics. I mean, sure, you can rewind in about 10 seconds. You can rewind 30 minutes in 10 seconds. It's not like before, right, Tom?
Yeah, a lot of guys too. They tell me when they watch the show, they watch it in pieces. You know what I mean? While they're doing something, their workout or whatever, they watch 30 minutes of it here, 30 minutes of it there. Some guys watch the whole thing. Some people watch it live, but most of our listeners watch it after we've done it. We're thankful for the people that tune in live, but to be honest, most of the views come after. So just like most podcasts, you know what I mean? We tune in after, get a little something to listen to. So hopefully this has been interesting. Local people, don't think I'm just supporting these two gyms. I want all you guys to hit me up, man. Anybody, Dela Cruz, Vitruvian, all the gyms out there. There's too many to name. All you guys got to do is hit me up or Archie up, and we'll get you on and we'll do a little podcast with you. If you got anything coming up or a guy fighting or anything that you think needs to get out there, hey, hit us up and we'll make it happen. So,
no, definitely. Thanks, Danny. Thanks to all you guys. Jesus Garcia, Danny, I mean, Gabriel, Boogie, everybody that's participated today in the comments and just in general, man. Great show.
Yep. And you guys from Team KO, thanks for letting me out there and thanks for paying good attention. And I appreciate it, man. You guys just paid good attention and you do what I tell you to do, which is just basic stuff. But I'm seeing it pay off, and we're going to keep working it, and it's going to really pay off in the long run. So I'll be back out there this next week. We're going to be training for the next tournament coming up, and we'll be going back at it again, man. Just raw basics, get ready for that next tournament. But now, you guys, it's going to be with the gi on now. You guys did that gi-less tournament. Now we're gonna get ready for some gi action. So a little bit different there.
Good stuff.
All right, Archie. Keep going with the Selma gym. You guys want in Selma? You want some BJJ? Hit up Archie, and you'll get some good action over there. I'll be out there soon, Archie, as soon as I get a lift.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna bring you out here real soon, Tom, and we'll hook up. Thank you for putting this together, Tom. I mean, like always, we try to put these together, but lately you've been putting some good ones together, and I got to catch up with you, man. This is awesome stuff.
Yep, we're gonna keep it going. I got some good ones lined up, bro. Good ones lined up. Danny,
yeah.
You couldn't make it on the show, but thank you again, brother.
Yeah, thank you, Danny, for everything.
Yep, I'll see you soon out there at the gym, and we'll keep this thing going. Everybody that tuned in or watches it, thank you again. We're always looking for sponsors, guys, so hit us up.
Yep. All right.
Episode 125 in the books. We'll see you guys on the next show.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. We'll end the broadcast. Tom, talk to you.